Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. Test, okay. 531. Jim McLean.
Here.
Keith Bailey. Present. Paul Muscati.
Here.
Sandra York. Jeremy Inman.
Here.
Carolyn Lomas. Cindy Nord. Okay.
Was the meeting posted properly?
Yes, sir, it was.
Mr. Bailey, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If y'all take a look at the minutes of our last meeting. I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson, can you tell us about our action item tonight?
Yes, sir. On the docket tonight, we have just a traditional COA application from Mr. Matthew Graham and his company, Palmetto Renovations and Team MKG. I believe they have some sample materials with them tonight, and as well as a picture of what the picture in your packet was real small, so sorry about that. But the picture, if you turn around, that is what they are proposing to do, enclosing the porch there and then facing it with mostly glass. So, but Mr. Graham is here tonight, and you can go ahead and take the podium, Matthew, and Bar, you can fire away with any questions you have. Matthew, do you want to add anything to that?
No, it's got it.
Okay.
Matthew, can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing? It looks like you're closing in the front porch. It looks like other glass. Can you just kind of lead us through what your plan is?
Sure. We're going to close in that front porch with windows that are much larger but look similar to this. We're going to paint the exterior in that color. I'm going to paint the trim in that color. That's it.
Do any of the board members have a comment or any questions?
Sure.
Matthew, it looks awfully contemporary for a building that's over 100 years old. do you have any comments?
Mr. Chairman, the existing structure has arched windows facing the prime view of the Main Street. I could not see this until just now, and maybe Matthew can explain this. This is the porch. This is actually the wall beyond the porch that goes to the corner of the building, and it appears that the applicant is taking this arched window out and going with a vertical piece of glazing. So we couldn't see that in the small view, but so that you all can understand, this is a new element on the elevation. There is an arched window right here currently, I believe.
I'll give you some context. It does showcase that, but the renovation, that was part of a previous iteration, but the renovation will stop at the porch. So it won't affect, so where it does show that, you're right to point that out. But that
see.
existing arched window that's on a 45 will stay.
Okay,
It'll
so
just be exactly where the porch is that's new, that's not part of the old structure
I
at all.
understand. Okay, I appreciate you clarifying that.
That's an angle part of the building. too,
Yes,
with the
yes.
windows.
So that's a very good clarification. So as I mentioned, the arch windows, that whole facade on the front has about 4 or 5 arched areas on the facade, and as you said, Mr. Chairman, this is more of a contemporary expression on the existing building, and the applicant is taking this element, this more of a traditional pitched element with what's called an eyebrow, so that glass there appears that this whole area is perhaps opening up to a much higher ceiling as they walk in the entrance. And that's where the angle, the triangle shape, and the other vertical shape are coming into play up there. I think for the board to just understand this is a contemporary architectural expression being presented to you tonight. And they're maintaining their, as you see, there's some current landscaping along here that helps break the parking from the building, and if this is a correct expression, you can see they're certainly doing a good job of trying to keep the parking lot from just running right up into the building. So that's being kept and perhaps even expanded to some extent. There is no indication of signage yet. That may be something that we need to have the board ask about in terms of what kind of signage, if there's a monument sign going on the property or not. So
I haven't seen any, nor I don't think has it been discussed with any of your employees or yourself, so.
No, we haven't gotten to signage yet. My understanding, that's a separate permit, separate application, so we'll deal with that at a separate time, but
Correct.
this is just about the construction.
Yeah.
What is the occupancy of the building intended to be?
Retail.
Can you detail that a little bit?
Well, we sell renovations, so we're gonna sell the stuff that people need to get their renovations done in a retail capacity.
Well, does
So-
that mean,
So it's a showroom. I guess that's the best way to describe it.
well, let me ask you this, does that mean you could be selling appliances and cabinets and that sort of thing?
That's correct.
You had talked at one time about a coffee shop. Is that in a drive-through window? Is that still the plan?
That's not what we're applying for here, no.
I'm sorry?
That's not what we're applying for tonight.
So that's out the window right now?
No.
No, it's not part of the plan, or no, it's not out the window?
No, it's not what we're applying for, and no, it's not out the window.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to get back to, Ralph, if you go back and look at the original building, all of the arch windows have been boarded up, basically have been bricked up. So there's only one arch window that's left.
There's at least 3 arch windows that have still got glass arch glass.
On the front? I don't think so. Go to the website, History of Blythewood.
You say boarded up,
They're bricked up.
yes, these windows right here.
This is there, there's one there, and there's one like this. So you got 3 of these.
Okay.
These have been squared off back, as you see. Yeah.
So we've got a hodgepodge of windows in,
Exactly.
basically. I think the thing I'm struggling is how do we give guidance to a building that has multiple alterations to it and bring it back so it has some semblance of a historical building, or how do you do that, if we can do that? The side of the building was erected back when it was a hardware store. The highway department came along and they shut the front down, basically. So the front itself won't be, I don't think can be used as an entranceway anymore. So it kind of stands alone. Then you got the side of the building, which was brought under the historical designation after the ordinance was written and so forth. So we're dealing with, I think, that. Sorry, yeah. So what I'm trying to do is just how do we get back to something? How do you blend something that's what I call as a mess, essentially,
I understand.
because of all the architectural
I
styles.
understand. Well, I think from a design standpoint, one might step back and said, are there any elements that we can at least try to connect together?
Right.
You've got painted brick on the building,
Right.
so you could use painted brick anywhere you want to. As I said, as your consultant, what I'm seeing is a very contemporary expression on the front of the building, and
What is now the front of the building?
what is currently the parking lot
That's
view.
right.
Yes, the parking lot sign. And the applicant at this point, there's no, it's not trying to marry the old with the new. It's a brand new
Right.
feature on the front. And you know, I'm not saying what to do. I'm just saying so that
Right.
you all can see it clearly for what it is, and whether that marrying the two, the older and the new, in a transition is possible. I would say there are potential things that could be done in that area. For instance, columns could be brick. There could be some brick features or some brick wall area, and then intermix windows with that. What we are looking at this point is a completely different architectural style on the parking lot, the side of the building, which is now the front. So that's my
Sure.
observations.
So the
Excuse me. Matthew, is there an architect involved on your side?
No.
Go ahead, Keith.
Is there some way that, I guess, that we can maintain the historical value of the building? Maybe uniformity in terms of the windows, more arches or something along those lines.
So I'm of the opinion that the front of the building is what faces Highway 21. If we're going to go off the fact that it's a historical building, that's the front, and that's the front. So that's what I read as the front of the building. Can we agree on that as a baseline? I understand that the entrance is now on the side in the parking lot, but it wasn't. It's been changed. So I'd like to at least agree on what is front, back, left, and right before we talk about matching, whether we're matching front, back, left, or right. Is that a fair thing to try to establish?
From a historical standpoint, the Highway 21 is the front, but it has not been used as the front for 20-some odd years, maybe or longer. It is not, the front itself is not usable today as a front.
That porch is about 30-plus years old.
Side portion is about 30.
Let me say this. I bought it with the understanding that the front of the building was the portion facing 21. That's how I bought it. When I bought it, I understood that that was the front of the building. So that's how I'm going to move forward as we discussed, but if we can't agree that that's the front of the building, then we got to figure that out first. So is that the front of the building, or is it not? It was the front of the building a whole lot longer than it hasn't been, let's say that.
Correct.
So let's say for 80 years it has been the front. Can we go with the majority and say that that's the front of the building?
I think that's correct,
Is that fair across? Do we agree on that, like,
yes.
wholesale, or is there, like, dissension?
So the premise is that you'll have customers park on the side and then walk up to the front of 21?
No, sir, not necessarily. I'm just establishing, on very simple terms, front, back, left, and right. And I'd just like to get on one level ground with everybody to make sure we understand what front, back, left, and right is. To me, front is what we're looking at. The back is parallel with the railroad tracks on the backside. And then left and right sides are the parking lot or the portion that is facing Mr. Queen's property.
Historically, like you say, you'd have to understand that the front of the building was 21 size from a historical standpoint.
I'm with you.
Right.
And I agree on that. For 80 years it was, and for 30 years it maybe
But-
hasn't been.
But 30 years ago, it shifted to the side when a hardware store moved in there.
Okay, so,
And they relocated made the side entrance the actual primary entrance to the building itself.
okay.
Still wouldn't call it the front, but it was the primary entrance.
I agree that would be the primary entrance, that's what it was, but I'll restate my original question. When I bought the building, my understanding was the front of the building was what it had been for 80 years, and I was told that porch wasn't even important, and if I wanted to tear that off, that wouldn't be any sweat off the brow of the town. So my understanding is that what we're looking at is the front. Do we agree as a group that that's the front, or is that in contest?
I think all of us, at least from my standpoint, I appreciate what you're trying to do with the building. I think the thing that we're struggling with a little bit, if I may speak, I'm speaking just for me, is how we blend the side of the building and the front of the building. So it's from a regional standpoint, the way it makes sense.
Gotcha.
So we're looking for that. We're looking for that blend between the front of the building and the side of the building.
Right, and that makes sense. Is that the front of the building? Because I still don't have an answer.
Why
It's
don't
not a
we
complex question.
Why
it's
don't we just say the south? the
No,
east?
I'd like to know what the front of the building is. I mean, I think you guys are the determining factors. I mean, it either is the front or it's not the front. I don't think it's a complex question. It was
Well,
for
we
80,
said the front of the building was 21 side, but.
I'm just
but it's not-
asking.
But it's not the primary entrance to it.
okay, I agree with that assessment, but I'm asking if everybody agrees. Okay, so we're agreeing as a group on the record here that that's the front of the building.
I got a question.
Okay? This is why I'm
Mr.
pressing.
Wilson. What does the parking ordinance say about front, side, back, wherever? Does it?
Yeah, so as I told Ralph earlier, today, actually, we were speaking, we have had some change of occupancy uses in some of the historical buildings before in my time here, and we have never held them to the parking calculations. Now, that's only been a handful of times, and, in each time, the foot traffic was low volume, an insurance office, couple insurance offices. We did have a consignment shop in one of the twin buildings one time, but just to be consistent across the board, at least in my time here, we have never held the parking calcs to the historical buildings. Now, is that right, wrong, or indifferent? That can be debated at a staff level, but that's how we have always approached the parking on historical buildings.
You're saying calcs. I'm asking from the standpoint of position.
On the front left side, that's, I would say that it's the side. I would say what we're looking at here is the front, and where the parking is on the side. That's my opinion.
And we've had latitude there too. For example, the eyeglass place, we allowed them to use a pervious parking lot versus having to come back in with asphalt. So we
Yes.
have issued some exceptions for buildings that are being reutilized along those lines.
Yes, sir. Yeah. But just for consistency across the board,
Right.
we've never said, hey, because you're in this historical building, you have to meet these parking you know, or it has to be on the side, or it has to, it's just where the parking has been is where it's been, and, you know,
Historical has no paved lot at all, no paved parking at all.
Correct.
For that reason.
So that, that would put the front, we're looking at the front of this picture behind us. Is that what we're all saying?
yes,
Okay,
that's my opinion, so.
so that's progress. So we're looking at the
I
front.
think that's,
So my response, now that we've established front, back, left, and right, is that the left side of the building is all square windows because they've all been changed to square. And so I'm matching exactly what's on the left side with the right side.
the sides of this building, and originally, the sides of the building used the same glass.
They used to.
What's on the north side and what's on the south side, if you pull that front off, you'll see that same window configuration on both the north and south side of the building.
But just as in the front of the building where the rounds have been squared, all of the windows on the left side of what I'm going to call the left side of the building, closest to Queen's property, have been transitioned from round to square. So right now, today, as we speak, and when I bought the building, they were square. So I'm matching the square windows that are on the left with exactly the square windows that I'm suggesting on the right.
But I think the front is a dominant feature, though. Historically, it's been the dominant feature of the building.
But I'm not changing the
So
front.
I think what we're asking for is how do you blend the dominant feature in the front to the side, which has been mutated, you know, because of the different usages along those lines?
Right.
Because the front of the building and the side of the building don't match in terms of appearance. So how do we come back with something in between that helps soften that drastic change on the side of the building?
I'm trying to make it consistent. You have square on the left, I want to do square on the right. If you're saying I have to do round on the right and leave square on the left, then that creates inconsistency, if anything. Right now, everything is square today, as it stands. It's all square openings, and it's all square glass on the side, on the parking lot side of the building. Everything on the opposite side of the building is also square. So I'm suggesting to go back with what's there now and what matches the other side of the building.
Flip through. All right, see, this is what I'm talking about. See, that's arched also.
That used to be there, that's been bricked over.
On the side of the building, you still have arch windows.
No, sir, they don't. They're gone. They've been bricked over.
What's that?
If you'll look at the picture, the current picture, you won't see any windows there at all because they've all been bricked over. So if you look underneath that porch, you don't see any arched windows at all. You see there on the left, if you zoom in, it's all solid brick. I'm suggesting to match the left side and the right side. Also, the glass that's in there now, if we were to not enclose the porch, is also square. So the right side currently matches the left side. Google Street View would probably give you the best perspective.
I think some of the heartburn is the triangular glass. I think that's where a lot of this contemporary look is.
Okay, yeah, we can delete that glass. We can just blank it out and
I
leave
mean,
it.
I don't know what to put there, but.
We can just leave it like it is. We don't have to change anything. Just leave the gable. Just leave the gable that's there now. Might be a good place for a building sign.
I thought that we'd have an architect that would help to blend the two. I've seen it done very well, but you need somebody that really understands how you make it so you can use the building, but also and keep its integrity.
Okay. Yes, if you'll look, you've got 4 rounds there, or I guess 3 rounds there, which is in that alcove there, one was left round, one is square. I would certainly be open to restoring the rounds across the front if that's something that would make it go down better, because that would create uniformity. The 3 on the right are round, the 2 on the left have been boxed. I'd be happy to round those back out to create consistency. But if we come a little further up the street and look back at the side of the building, you'll see that all of that has been squared out. So if you can zoom in on that picture at all. Yeah, there you go. So that's been bricked over. It's no longer round. It's now been transformed to square. So I have square windows on the left, and I'm proposing square windows on the right. If the triangles are creating the heartburn, we can just delete those.
Mr. Chairman, the one issue that is left architecturally is the arches on these, quote, square windows. The physical arches in the brick are obviously very evident. So to say that these are square windows, the opening is arched. It has been infiltrated with a rectangular window and then blanked out. So that's what Mr. McLean was asking a little bit earlier.
What we can do to solve that is we can do what they did on the front there, where they squared underneath that arch. We can go back and add brick underneath that, the existing arch is there to square that off, just like they've done on the front. That would be consistent with what's on the building now.
You said something a minute ago about, I thought it was about reintroducing these arches. Did I understand you correctly?
On the two windows on the left?
The windows on the front.
On the left side of the front. I did mention that. If it would be a concession that makes this go, I'd be willing to do that. And we could delete, so there's two trapezoid, there's two triangles there, and there's two squares above the door. So if those are the problem, we can just zero those out. We can put our building sign there. Those are just there to generate more natural light, so those aren't essential to the design.
It's just a column there. That arch one is back behind you on the column on that left-hand side.
We could effectively knock that brick out that's been put in below the arch to reintroduce that arch.
Has it been, one on the left side, has it been bricked up?
The two on the left have been bricked. The three on the right are still arched. So that one and one more. There you go.
See that column there? See, you got the glass window? It stops right there where the overhang stops.
And what was your suggestion about that column?
I think it needs to remain, because that's the part of the front character and side character of the building itself.
The applicant said that he's not going to do anything past the porch.
Right.
On that corner, so that column and that arched window tucked under that column feature would remain, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's right. Although I am willing to reintroduce the arches on the two on the left, if that helps this go down better. But again, I'm suggesting we do square on the right, just like we have square on the left. And with what's there now is also square. If you look at that, if you zoom in underneath that porch, that's all square.
Right, we created an arch style on all the windows there on the Langford Road side, south side of the building, of the current overhang. Does that give us what we're looking for, you think? And maybe do away with the window at the top of the gable?
Creating arch features.
Yeah, add an arch feature of those side windows.
Yeah, that would certainly be completely in keeping with the current front features. If that was a series of brick columns and brick arches.
Right.
And so all the glass was arched, had arch features on the top. That would certainly be well in keeping with the entire structure that's currently there.
How about the glass at the top?
I don't see that it serves any architectural feature, personally. The all glass, I don't think the angled features are in keeping with what the building has, and the applicant said he would be willing to eliminate that up in that gable end. That could remain as a ephes feature. If he chose to do, he could actually do a little bit of an arch in that feature just to replicate the arches. Right. But it wouldn't be an opening, it would just be a feature. Something such as that, yes, sir.
But that was was that what we're calling the front?
It's what I'm calling it Langford Roadside, because that's what it is.
Langford roadside,
Basically,
yes.
I mean, it's the south side of the building. No, south side of the building. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but it's still the south side of the building.
If he doesn't glass where the cross is, I think you already mentioned this, but that's where he would go with the wall signage, correct?
That'd be the trade-off, yes. We could just leave that like it is and put our building sign right there.
Yeah.
Could I step up there one more time and just make sure that we're all talking the same thing?
Sure.
Please.
don't have a pointer.
Sorry there, Ralph. Can you take the microphone with you, please?
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
I believe what is being stated is, could these features be brick? Not some big brick column, but a brick feature. So these transition to brick, and then the question was, within that, can we then do arch features within the brick, and the windows not be this wide, but they would be as wide as, if these these features were 2 feet wide, for instance, or 16 inches wide. And then what's left in here would perhaps be 2 panes of glass with an arch top on it. That's what I believe that you all are asking. Would that be possible? And then you would have.
How about the roof element below the cross? Does that say, Matthew?
I'm sorry?
The roof element below the cross.
The
It
little,
doesn't show it on
the
top.
little eyebrow, yeah, we could leave that.
I think that would be something worth yes.
Keep in there.
Yes, yeah.
So all the glass disappears above that?
Right.
Yeah, so what we're saying is this brick would return, and then that would be a brick arch, brick arch, brick arch. And because of redoing this porch, the columns don't necessarily have to remain in the exact same location. And if we went, rather than a post, even the post he's got, but we spread it out to, it would be basically studs, but on the outside it would look like a brick column. But would not have to go to the trouble of physically building a brick column, but the features would appear as vertical brick elements and then the arches between them. So it would appear that it's brick columns and brick arches. And then it'd be infilled with glass. And the applicant could determine if he's going to put glass in this area, do we get a brick band on the bottom at the top of the porch so that the glass is not sitting on the slab, it's sitting on a small brick base, brick base.
And all the windows on the Wilson Road side of it remain as is? Is that what we're saying?
The applicant said that he would consider taking the 2 windows on the left side of the front and removing those rectangular glass and put the arch feature back in place.
On the north side?
On the road side, yes, sir.
On the north side.
What Wilson Road, what we're calling the front, then he's offered to take these 2 rectangular windows here and remove that head, leave the brick arch, and then so you would have the arch windows return back in where they used to be. I believe that's what you said. Am I quoting you accurately?
We did discuss that as an option, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any more conversation?
I'd like a little clarity as to what I'm being asked to do on my dime.
You're gonna write that to him.
Sir?
You're gonna respond with it in written format, exactly what the changes are.
Yeah, so I'll probably ask Ralph to help me with that. But yeah, so currently, all right, I'm going to flip-flop between pictures. The board and I believe the applicant are agreeing that these two windows here will be returned back to the arches. Is that correct? From both of you?
No, I'm bringing up options based on what the group's agreeable to, right? So
Okay.
I'm willing to make concessions as long as everybody's willing to make concessions.
Understood,
So
understood.
I'm saying that's an option based on what's being asked of me.
All right, we go back to the front of the building.
Length of the south side of the building.
Correct, correct. I'm sorry, yes, thank you. Again, the applicant has said that he is willing to eliminate this glass, and then he will keep the feature as is, remove the cross, and that's where his sign, his wall signage would go. The windows here, 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 and here. So the board is asking, can we make those arches just like the front of the building here?
Little brick columns.
Brick columns, but not full brick columns. Brick features. Is it like a brick wrap or brick veneer?
No, it would be a stud wall with 16 inches of brick face.
Okay.
So what you'd be seeing is that brick face and then arches.
Okay.
So it's not a physical brick column. It replicates that sort of column.
Mm-hmm. So with all that being said, again, the applicant said he's willing to, as he stated, he said he's giving some options, willing to bend or compromise on some. So I guess the question is, what is the board looking for and what can be agreed upon today?
Ralph, how about the entrance to the building? Do you have the same situation there as far as the arches, the front door?
It would be extremely nice if that were the case. What would be a
Versus a
it would
square?
be a rectangle with an arch glass above the rectangular door. That does not require two entrance doors for code. One entrance door is fine, so it'd be a door, side lights on either side, and an arch above the door, the head of the door. So you would, so that profile would look like the other arched windows.
I'm not sure. I'm waiting to hear.
And lastly, we can't forget about the painting as well. Ralph, did you pass those up? Okay, yeah. So the entire brick would be painted white and the trim would be painted black.
That's right.
When you say trim, I'm looking at a lot of white.
Yeah, I guess, can you
fascia
define
there.
maybe where the trim is for us?
Sure.
I can pull up the side photo if that's a
Yeah, so
little better.
there's a coping there, if you'll see across the top. where-
Right here?
Yeah, right there. So we would go black there. And then there's trim, the trim around the windows, all that that would all go black. So you'd have a black band around a white window bodied by a white brick building. So effectively doors, windows, and then if we were to do columns on the front, we'd go black on those columns probably to kind of match that up for the trim effect.
I would think your columns probably would, any of the brick would probably match your existing brick that you're going to paint all white.
It could go either way.
Yes, sir.
It's a brand-new concept that we're just talking about now,
Sure,
so
I
I'd
understand.
have to look at it. But it's possible that it could go white as well. But
Understand.
again, the windows, the trim the trim around the windows, and the coping around the perimeter and doors, that would go black.
All of the fascia on the on your front, all of that fascia would be white.
I think all that goes white, yeah. There's even the inset there, so that'll all more or less blend. It's two-tone right now, but
Okay.
it shouldn't be.
A couple questions I have too, Ralph, still. The tint of the windows, should they all match? How do we end up with, we don't end up with a real stark difference between the side of the building and the front of the building? As far as glass tint? I've seen
Well-
some glass that was almost black.
Well, there is a tint section in your window, maximum tint.
Okay,
What's on the building currently, I don't know if it's tinted or not. It may all be clear glass.
could be clear.
And I think the applicant would need to tell you whether he's using yeah, a lightly tinted glass, a heavy tint. We haven't talked about the glass. I'm not sure that he's even thought about the tint on the glass yet.
We have, yeah. All the
Okay.
glass will carry a low E coating. The low E is it's an energy feature part of the glass. It's actually applied to the number 3 surface, which is the nearest to the outside, but inside the glass pack itself. Puts a bit of a brown tint. You can kind of see the sample in front.
Okay.
But it'll match fairly closely.
Is that tint on there typical to what you would
Yes, sir.
probably be
Yeah,
using?
this is representative of what it would look like.
Okay, okay.
The last question I have too is about the east side of the building, which I guess you call it the back of the building.
That's right.
typically, which has a cover back there. It was also a platform at one time. So what are the plans for the back side of the building?
Just to repair that platform, and possibly extend a deck, you know, if that was an option, just because there's room to go. There's an inside corner cut out, and I don't know if you can see it from here, but past that corner, that wall turns this way.
Right.
It heads west, if you will, and then turns 90 degrees back north. That's that inside corner of that building. There's an HVAC unit, a condenser that sits in that corner that's on like a really rough platform, but we probably carry that deck platform back and around to fill out that inside corner.
And the two windows in the back, I guess, would replicate what we're doing on all the others, because they're all similar.
Sir?
The two windows on the back will be handled just like the ones on the north side. Arches, yeah.
Okay, so are you asking me, or are you telling us?
I think we're discussing it, so I think it
Okay.
should be.
Well, I would agree with you. It should be. What's taking place, I think what the board is looking at is reworking some of the areas that do not actually pertain directly to the new facade.
Right.
But while the work is being done, no better time to try to bring those back into conformance with their original design, is what you're saying.
Right.
So you'd be asking the applicant about that, if
That's
that
still a
would be,
very
if that could be
visible
included.
part of the building.
Yes.
So you're asking the 3 windows on the other side of the building
And these
as well as these?
match, right.
And you have 4 windows on the side facing King Queen's property.
That's the north side.
That's the north side. So you got north side windows, you have 2 windows on the road side, and then you have these 2 windows in the back to be restored back to their original look.
So would we get a chance to see this before it's a chance to see it, before he goes ahead?
I'm sorry, I don't.
Would we get a chance to see these changes before he goes ahead and does them?
Like a rendering, or like a rendering?
Okay, what he's presented today.
Right.
Would we get the presentation
I see what
before
you're
he goes
saying.
ahead?
I see what
Maybe
you're
that's a better way to say it.
I see what you're saying.
Would it be part of the motion regardless? So it would be part of the motion.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a difficult motion. It's a lengthy motion. But it's gotta be.
Take it one step at a time.
All right, on the Wilson, let's take Langford.
It's called the north, south, east, and west side of the building. That'll make it absolute.
Okay,
It's the north side,
there's 4 windows.
four windows.
That faces King Queen's property.
Right.
Right, so
Right, yeah.
4 windows to have the arch
Right.
reestablished.
The arch is there, it would be reestablished in the arch top window in that location. Those arches are remaining in the brick.
That's all for Langford, correct? Or the
Right.
north side, the north side.
That's right, let's go to the west side, which is the front.
Right.
Gonna rework those ones with the metal grid in it?
Yes, the question or the comment from the board was, and the applicant had offered potentially to reestablish the arch glass in those two front windows that have a flat
Right.
brick feature under the arch. So go and return back to the brick arch with the arch glass units in those places.
Those metal grid.
Kirk, is your email address attached to this computer here? Or I can email it to you, or is there one?
No,
is
but
there
you
one
can
that is?
send it to Kirk Blythewood
That's right.
at gmail.com.
Kirk, can you put the Wilson Road side of it up?
Yes.
Kirk, if you get a minute, if you want to bring up the picture I just sent you, just to see if I can get an understanding if this is close to what you guys are describing.
Sure.
Do we know what the original color was for the building?
It was red
I
brick.
think it was just brick. And,
Red brick.
no, it was not, the original was not painted brick. Jim, I would defer to you. When was that brick painted?
Just brick, brown brick, red brick, however you want to determine it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But I mean, eventually it was painted this tan color. Do you recall?
I would say probably early 70s.
Oh, okay, okay.
The black and white is a huge change for me. So I want to see what that's going to look like.
Well, the white's already there. It's the same color that basically is there, but with the trim, essentially. So,
Getting close. We got it. That's on the 21. Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
I would say that that's similar to what we're discussing, except you see where he has the brick, where he has the vertical columns, he's in between those. That might be too busy for you on, as far as the windows go. When I say too busy, it's a lot of mud bars.
way too busy.
But that gives you at least, now, those are almost half arches. Whereas if you'll look at the arches on the building, they're not nearly, they may be a third arch. But
Sure.
that gives you, it's a very, very slight arch, so that gives you a little bit of the thought. And in the center, obviously, there would be a door in the center section there.
There are no dividers in the other solid windows, so I would say go without the
Yes.
what I call
think-
buttons
think
or
just
dividers,
vertical
solid glass.
And maybe a horizontal.
Right.
You know how big that arch is.
Right.
But I agree, we don't, all the mud bars doesn't help at all.
Right.
Let me step up there again. So this feature, depending on the scale of the window and the size, I don't know what that piece is, but this feature would be painted brick. And then you would have some construction and some, basically the window edge features as they abut the brick. And he does have the features set, the windows are set back, so it allows the brick to actually protrude out a couple of inches so you can see that feature. This isn't all flat, which is good. We had talked about the possibility of a brick base running under this, but I think that's something that you have to just determine. And then across here, we discussed leaving the eyebrow shape, that sheeted, the small smooth shape all the way across there. But these arches would be a bit flatter, is what we call it, more of a flat arch. But what he just did in a matter of 5 minutes, to give you some idea of what we're talking about, is very helpful. Thank you. AI is great, isn't it?
Ralph, can you stand up there and point out the windows on Wilson when Kirk pulls that up?
Sure.
The windows we're gonna,
Sir. Okay. So these two windows, this one and this one, have been, the arch has been bricked in, and
Gotcha.
So there's two, those two features.
Kirk, can you pull up the back of the building one more time?
Oh,
Also,
the street view?
backside, town hall side.
Kirk, I sent you another one there without the Muttons on there, if you want to see that as well.
The only other question that I have, and maybe it's nothing that can be done, is that blank side of where that, where the addition was made, with the roof, with the roof overhang. See the electrical access to it, is whether anything can be done to soften that, go up to the top, yeah, that triangular section there.
This gable
Yeah.
end here
That can be,
could easily be replaced with a siding. I think it's currently, is that stucco? Currently, is this gable end stucco or is it panel out?
I don't know. It might just be plywood.
So this could be placed with some horizontal siding in there, very simply.
a hardy board of some sort,
Or get some type of a hardy.
hard plank, rather than hardy. I guess you do the same thing on the front as well, because they do mimic.
Are there any changes on the power entrance, weatherhead and all that? Are you planning anything different on the electrical entrance service entrance?
On the left. It's got it's reflecting an arch. I'll send you one more if you want to look at this. So I sent you, there's that one, but I sent you one more as well. He mentioned a brick knee wall up underneath, so we can look at that as well if you'd like that detail.
And this, sorry.
Yeah, come right.
Because of the width of the windows, obviously there'd probably be one or two verticals up here, just that you don't want to put a piece of glass that big in the wall. And, again, keep in mind, this is not replicating the flat arch that we have on the building, but it at least gives you some idea of consideration. The one thing that the overhang does here is it helps protect the doors as well. So this dimension from the slab up to the beam is not high enough to do a door and an arch top above it. Is that what you're?
That's correct.
I'm not sure what the height of that is, but I see.
It's going to be right at, let me pull it up.
And we're gonna maintain that roof structure over the door too. The roof structure is gonna be maintained over the door as it currently is. Whatever, yes.
There was one more, Kirk, that has a brick knee wall underneath those arches that shorten those windows a bit. I think I put them all in the same thread, so it may have been that last screenshot. Yeah, there it is.
Ralph, the two windows down on this end of this elevation also have the arch restored? I'm asking. Are there not two more windows down this end?
No, sir, this is replicated on that end down there. So that.
All right, where are the other two windows? I thought it was on the right side.
Kirk, can you go back to the original building elevation?
Those two.
Oh, these are that's on the back side, that's on the railroad side. Yes, we talked about these two.
Okay.
That's the east side.
I see.
That's the east side, so those two.
So we're gonna restore the arch glass, the arch and the glass.
Request that you all have to restore those.
I would imagine that's how, that would look the best that way. I would think that would be how it would look the best, is if they were equidistant. That would make sense.
I realize you're manipulating something. We appreciate what you're doing.
No problem.
I know it's not perfect, but
It's okay.
I recently was working on a job. The owner brings an elevation view of something we're doing, and he had taken my hand-drafted view, and he said, well, I just went on AI and I did this, and I said, man, that's amazing, you did that. I said, so it's now his design. So
Now it is.
it was just like,
His liability, too.
it was a feature on the front of this church. And
Okay.
it was just really funny. He said, I sort of like this. I said, actually, I like that too.
Yeah,
So
that's cool.
what you just came up with. He's an electrical engineer by trade, so
That makes sense.
he's doing architecture on AI.
So, I don't mean to interrupt if I'm interrupting, but, so if I can get a little bit of guidance here, because I'm trying to work through it in my head, so, work with me a little bit, but, the last picture that I sent, is that close to I'm just trying to determine the ask. Are we in the ballpark of what the ask is at this point from the bar? I mean, I'm just looking for some,
I would say that represents what we've been discussing.
Except for the glass,
Yes.
because glass needs to be broken up.
That needs to be drafted correctly, but I think that we know the arch is more of a flat arch. There will be some vertical mullions in those large pieces of glass, but I think, and the glass, the column locations will be such that the glass width is all consistent across the front of the building.
so is this representative of what the ask is? This plus the re-arching of the two in the front, the two in the back, and we're leaving the 4 on the other side square? No, we're re-arching everything. Okay, so the ask is to re-arch everything and to build arches on the front to mock, or as closely as possible to mock the other arches that were originally there. Is that right? Okay, that's the ask. Okay, so I'm clear on the window ask. I appreciate that. Is there an opinion or a determination on the paint color? Are we okay with black and white? Can we get an okay on that? At least to kind of give me like a baseline. No, not okay with that? What would you do? What do you suggest?
I can't understand your.
What do you suggest? You were saying you don't like the white and the black. What do you like?
No, I think it loses a lot.
Gotcha. What do you suggest?
You said it's busy. But not
It's busy? Black and white is, every building around there is black and white. Literally, I mean, every one of them. But it's okay. If this one is special rules, I get it. I just need to know what the ask is. If I can't paint the building white, then I just need to know that. So if I could get an answer on that just before we adjourn, that would be helpful.
I think the white is grandfathered in anyway, because it's not a substantial change to the building, and so from a grandfathering standpoint,
Right.
It'll have to.
There's a good bit of black on
It'll
there as
have to
well,
apply,
from the roofing and the trim. There's other aspects of black as well. So on the building currently, the roof is black. I mean, So I would suggest we may end up having to shingle that front gable just to make it new, because the shingles are not in the best shape. So we'd go like a dark black to match the black paint we'd use for the trim.
Explain the black again. How will you be trimming it?
So just the trim around the windows, it's effectively the trim. So any trim that goes around the windows that we install, and the coping. There's a coping that goes around the what I'm gonna call parapet wall, which effectively is what it is on the what is the front. So there's a piece of trim that hangs down about 2 inches, and it's just gonna give it a little bit of contrast there, where I say 2, maybe 3 inches, at the very top right there, very top, that little piece of trim, that little piece right there. So the trim around the doors and windows, that would be the only black happening.
Not the arch, but just the window trim itself.
Just the trim, that's exactly right, yes, sir. The brick as a whole will stay white. even if I could just get I mean, if we are on the fence about the glass, I can understand that. If we could get a preliminary approval or a partial approval on the paint, that at least allows our team to keep moving for the paint colors, and then we can, we can work backwards to the porch. I mean, we can address that too, but if there's no immediate issue with getting the paint approved, I would like to at least know that, if that's possible today. I like that. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah. Barbara, your building's white and black, isn't it? Yeah. Keith says too, right?
What did we say about window tint?
A low E is the coating. It's what's on this glass here. So regardless of the kind of window that we'd go back with, it would all have a low E coating. That would make all the sense in the world. That would make all the sense in the world. That alignment makes sense.
All right, so we got, well, the west side, which is Wilson Road, 2 arch windows with arched glass being restored. Well, the north end is 4 windows to restore the arch glass. On the south end, which is the entrance, Lakeford Road side, brick feature in all columns with approximately 1/3 arch glass.
We'd line it up. We'd line it up, Dave.
That was the big glass.
Right, and, divided, obviously, it's not.
Then the east side was replaced the 2, restore the arched glass back in the 2 windows.
And rebuild the platform, rebuild the rear deck and cover.
And then replace that side of the roof. It's actually, I don't know what you call that. Where you said we want to replace with hardy plank siding?
Just call it.
It's not a mansard or anything.
It's a half gable end.
Front and back.
Yeah. Each side, half gable end, each side.
All right, Matthew, let's see if this makes sense.
Okay.
I'm going to try to keep it north, south, east, and west.
Okay.
On the west side, we're going to restore the 2 arch windows on Wilson Road on the left side. The 2 leftmost windows would have the arch restored with the glass. On the north side, around the corner, on the Ken Queen side, the 4 windows to have restored arch glass. On the south end, the Langford Road side, would be brick features at the jambs and sills with approximate 1/3 arch glass. Seems like that needs some help there. What else do we want to say about that? Is that
Window openings with vertical mullions.
window openings with vertical mullions? I guess that's what I'm looking for. The east side would be replacing or restoring the 2 arch glasses. That's on the back side. And then to replace the gable end or the half gable paneling that's there now with hardy plank. The glass tint would be low E. The trim would be, is the trim left at black right now?
The trim would be, I'm suggesting the trim to be black. All trim to be black, and then all the brick, the perimeter brick to be white.
Is everybody agreeable to that? All right.
If you would add in there on the east side, the replacing the deck,
Oh, replacing that platform?
platform, right?
I got it.
Platform
I
and
just didn't
cover,
read it.
right. And on the.
Matthew, all this sounding good?
I'm tracking so far. I'm
Okay.
just trying to,
Okay.
yeah, but so far, I'm understanding what the ask is from the bar.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
on the Langford Road side, the shingle eyebrow shingles will be replaced with black shingles.
And really, that whole front porch would be all new black shingles, realistically.
And on the west side, also, I would say replace the metal windows. We put in there to restore the arch, but I would say replace those metal windows, metal grids.
Those metal windows have the arch built into them, then. Is that what we're saying?
The arch has been bricked up at the top, so it'll have to be reworked.
Right, but it's an arched glass, is it not?
No. It's square in it. Those metal windows are square, currently square, right?
They're rectangles.
Just whenever we get done, wrap up, we can get this filled out form with this motion and give to Matthew, please.
Can you go back to the,
West
would
side,
that be the north side?
west side, no, west side.
All right, let's go to the west side. We're talking about those two windows. All right,
Which side?
well, go around the corner, is where my question is, and look back at those glass windows. Now that's, all right, my question is,
West side, which is a metal window.
I'm asking, my question is these right here, where you're pointing.
Yes.
We talked about restoring the arched glass in those windows. Is that true or not?
Matt, is there,
Sir?
are we looking at glass block?
That's what's there now, yes, sir.
So that was done a long, long time ago. That's glass block.
And I'm not saying it's got to be glass block. What I'm asking is, are we asking that they be replaced with arched windows?
That's what was indicated.
Okay, that's what I'm
Move that
asking.
And put arch windows in there.
And the same thing up front with these two windows.
Correct.
to see if I can put this in the form of a motion. I make a motion that we treat,
Before you do, I'm sorry to interrupt. So just one question. Is it possible that when we look at this, just for the sake of simplicity, you mentioned grandfathered in on the paint and that little deck in the back that's already there. Is it possible we look at this as two separate packages and say, okay, listen, like, we're together on the black and the white, unless as of right now, there's a pushback or a reason why that can't be approved today? That helps me to understand that that little deck in the back that's already there with the awning can be repaired and extended, and the black and white paint go ahead and be approved so that at least we can do the painting portion to get that part rolling, and then separately we can work through the windows. Is that a reasonable request?
you don't think so, or you do? What do you think, Ralph?
That helps us I'm sorry, that just helps us to stay moving, and we understand there's questions about the windows.
Isn't the color going to be part of the motion?
I intended it to be.
Unless there's two motions, one on color and then one on all, everything else. Is that,
That would help if we could break it
We-
up. That would be,
We could do two separate motions for the paint separate, and then the windows. And
yeah.
Matthew, can you send some renderings or actual sample, not the sample windows, but pictures of the windows, and then we can share that with the board
Sure,
and
yeah.
and approve at a not come back in a meeting, but kind of what I talked to you about earlier today. Just get them sent to you, and you say either yay or nay
This is for the windows,
for
you mean?
the windows.
Okay, so I want to make sure I'm tracking what you're saying. Are we able to, so we're able to break the deck extension, the little awning in the back, it's kind of falling off the building, right? It's kind of a hazard, we should just snatch it already, but, so that little deck extension and awning and the paint colors, we can make one motion, and then we can make all the window work contingent on a separate motion and a separate set of, I think you
Yes,
have everything you need. You've got the
yes, we
swatches,
can
you've
do
got the
that.
rendering for the paint, so I don't see anything stopping us from approving that, and then separately we can look at the windows, if that's reasonable.
Yes, and
Okay,
we
cool.
could, not saying you have to do this, but we could approve the windows conditionally, and that condition being Matthew sends us 1, 2, 3, 4 samples of whatever the arch windows are.
Okay.
Send those to Paul, the chair, and if the board grants Paul to go ahead and make the decision without reconvening on a meeting, we can approve it that way.
But in the meantime, we're able to approve the deck and awning piece in the back, and then the little deck extension and awning, and then the paint of the body and the black of the trim.
I believe so. If they would
Independently.
like to do that today,
Okay,
yes,
all right.
yes.
What is that deck made of? What is that material?
It's just rotten wood right now. That's what it's made of, is rotten wood.
Right under that,
Wooden deck.
right under that,
It's a deck platform.
Roof.
It's a rotten deck platform, yeah.
okay.
You might be able to see it from there.
That was a loading platform at one time.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we'd probably extend that roof, not the roof, but the little awning, just so there's a little platform to come out on, maybe around that corner, but that would be, it wouldn't be anything obtrusive. It'd be in the back of the building there.
Oh, I see.
Because there's an HVAC unit on that inside corner. You can't see it from this angle, but there's a little HVAC in the corner, but that HVAC's not going back in the same place. So we'd probably just take that little deck platform and make it an L shape, come across that back right corner, and then go up the hill to the west.
I got you.
That helps us to separate that out and keep the windows separate from the other construction and painting.
Well, let's take one of these at a time. Let's take the paint and the platform as one, and the deck as one motion.
Okay.
We'll make a motion that we approve the paint samples that were submitted. Are they still on the table? High reflective white and tricon black,
Tricorn, I think is what it's called.
tricorn, I thought it was R.
Yeah.
Tricord black,
It's basically a dark black and a bright white.
right.
They're the closest ones that I could find that match the buildings across on the other side of 21. That's Barber's Building and Keith Chichester, the insurance, both those buildings are basically that color.
Okay. That we approve those two colors and rebuild the platform and the deck. That's on the railroad side,
East side.
east side of the building,
And that deck would extend around that corner back to where the old.
as an L-shaped deck.
Yes, sir, that's right.
Okay. Does that get you what you need?
That's the step one, yes, sir. For the paint, if we can get the paint approved for the black trim, the white brick, the deck L shape, and then the rebuilding that awning, that's makes sense for step one.
Okay. The second motion,
Hold on, let's get a vote on the first motion, please, Paul.
okay.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you to repeat that again, just a little.
Make a motion that
okay.
we approve tricord black and high reflective white paint colors for the building, and also the rebuild and replacement of the platform and deck in an L-shaped configuration at the railroad side of the building.
Yep, sounds good.
Can I have a second?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Okay. Does that get you what you need for the paint?
Does that motion pass?
Yes, the motion carries.
Very
Yep.
good, excellent, thank you. Yes, it does.
Second motion?
Before we vote on the second motion, if you don't mind, I'd like to mention, now that we've gotten past the paint and the deck and the awning, it's brief, we've just been over it, but I want to mention that we're probably looking somewhere in the range of a $75,000 increase to go from stock windows that come off the shelf to custom storefront, custom brickwork, custom everything. So before we vote on that, would there be any interest from the bar in contributing in any way to help for the almost knocking on six-figure additional that just happened from the little redesign that we did to basically replace all the windows and arch everything in the front? Is there any interest from the bar in supporting that additional expense?
So Matthew, I will say the bar does not have any access to any funds whatsoever.
Okay. Then I'd like to withdraw the window and the porch enclosure altogether.
Okay,
I'm good with just the paint and the deck and the awning for now. We'll circle back.
okay.
Okay. Was there anything else y'all needed?
You say we're gonna come back and look at the windows and let it.
I'm going to withdraw that for now. Yeah, if you don't want square and you want me to spend 75 grand-ish to go custom, I'm not going to do it. So we can do square and make it look nice, or we can leave it like a crappy old porch. It's up to y'all.
So why'd you offer that as an option initially?
I didn't offer it as an option. I listened to ask from the bar. My request the whole time was just, what is the ask from the bar? Once we established the ask from the bar, I was able to put a number on it. Any other questions from me?
No, not at the moment.
Sir?
Not at the moment.
Okay, very
So do
good.
you anticipate funding in the future to be able to change what we require for the windows?
No, sir,
You don't?
I don't. I didn't know till I walked in today that I was going to be asked to update all the windows, update all the brick, arch everything out, and go from all stock to all custom. So we can just nix that.
But at the same time, you realize what you proposed is not approved either.
Correct. I understand that. So if you guys are not going to approve that, if you want to leave it like it is, if you prefer that look over what I presented, then we'll let the town know that, and we get it. You want to leave it like a crappy old building, we'll leave it like a crappy old building. We'll just paint it white and black. But I do appreciate y'all approving that. That's an important part of our renovation. So thank y'all for getting that locked in for me. That means a lot. Did you guys have anything else? Because I need to head out to the next meeting.
Does anybody have anything else? Any questions? No, I think we're good.
All right. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a great night. Appreciate y'all.
And we appreciate what he's done. But we have no access to money. If we wanted to pay for it, we could, even if we wanted to.
That's why I say there should have been meetings, 10-year comprehensive plan and all that. The money, it should have been here to help with these historical buildings that everybody's jumping up and down about now.
I don't disagree with that.
The town is so concerned about that, why wasn't something done? That's my question.
I think this is the wrong board. I think that's a town council issue. If they want to allocate a certain amount of money for improvements, which, no, I understand. I understand. Let me, no, I understand. Just let me finish. The town has allocated money to beautification. That's a broad sense, and again, at the town council level, they'll determine where that money is going to be budgeted for. But we've had some suggestions to put money into a fund for these type of improvements. Now, again, whether or not that'll occur or not is not up to me. That'll be the elected officials when they have their budget workshop, which is upcoming. But again, just to be clear, this board does not have access to money.
Blaming this commission, you know, personally. I mean, the town council, I get that. But with this being a commission, why can't they go before? It's like, listen, we need money to give a facelift to the building here on the corner or the building across the street.
I can say that has been discussed. Yeah.
Let's do something about it.
Absolutely. No, I agree, but, and it has been discussed, but ultimately, as you know, I mean, budget workshops are coming up. If the council decides to allocate money towards that, we in this board, I know, would certainly welcome that. I've had private discussions with some of the members on the board about this exact item. But again, I just want to be clear that they don't have any access to money. And if the town chooses to allocate funds for beautification for the Main Street District, then, you know, I believe there would be a process that Matthew or anybody else could go through to apply for that money. But as of today, currently, no, there is no funds available, so. Understood. Yeah, sure. Sure.
You know, the town wants so much done, you hear everyone complain about beautification, let's fix this, let's fix that, and nobody is getting up on the ass doing it. I mean, and I'm sorry.
Come to the council meeting next Tuesday night.
Do I not? I voice my opinion quite often.
I know. But anyway, thank you for the comment. I just wanted to clarify that, again, this board has zero access to funds. Yes. I have asked Paul to fill that form out. Paul, if you can get that filled out by tomorrow, and I can scan it, email it to Matthew. Okay.
Anybody have anything else?
We need to vote on that second, vote on the second.
I think he withdrew.
Yeah, he withdrew.
He withdrew it.
If I could just have a few minutes on some housekeeping items. So I was just sent an email by Kim, the director here, that the manor is booked June 15th for a wedding on a Monday of all things. But, so the originally scheduled meetings that we have for BZA and BAR on June 15th will need to be moved if we have action items. In addition to that, I'm going to be out the month of June. I've got the birth of a child coming up on June 1st. And we also have a new town administrator starting June 1st. So the reason I wanted to mention that is because I haven't gotten a chance to speak to him yet on if we do have something to meet about, will he cover for me, or I don't really know yet. But I just wanted to share with y'all that I will be out the entire month of June. As I told Paul, I'll certainly be accessible. If anybody needs to get in touch with me, you can, but I will not be in the office for the month of June. So, and how we'll handle those meetings, again, I'm not sure. I'm hoping to connect with the new town administrator sometime this week or next week to kind of go over that. But just wanted to keep y'all in the loop.
Has it worked at all?
Tap it real hard, Paul. Or tap the mic, yeah. You might have a dead mic.
Just about.
Talk with yours with that? Is there any, can you hear me now? Is there any reason to vote that second motion?
I don't believe that there is. No. I mean, he stated up there that he withdrew. And while that doesn't happen very often, I can think of one or two other times that somebody has withdrawn. The Arby's comes to mind several years ago. I don't know if y'all remember that, but with the prefab building or whatever, they withdrew, right, basically in the middle of the meeting. That's the only, to my knowledge, that's the only time that's happened. But I mean, I do believe you can withdraw, and if he withdraws, there's not a motion to vote on.
The board does have the right, and it's in the ordinance, that we can help try to find funds for rehab of historical buildings. And obviously, you know, the logical source, I think in our case, would be the town of Blythewood. We don't
Yes.
have any funds.
Yes.
But it's clearly stated in the ordinance that we have the right and the obligation to help by restoring historical buildings, to try to help seek funds that will help, you know, in the restoration of buildings. And
So-
I don't know that we've done that, but I think it's important that we at least remember that that's also part of our charge.
So what I can do is contact Mr. Wood down there at the, goodness, I forget the, it's a historical society that Mr. Wood's a part of. But I'd be happy to send an email to him and ask if he can give me a list of grants that, yeah, Bob Wood. What member, what is his organization, Keith? Yeah, but there's a. Is it Richland County, or I thought it was a state? Anyways, I'll figure it out, but I'm happy to reach out to Mr. Wood. He might send me to one of his, colleagues, but, and explain to him the situation and say, hey, well, what do you know what he can apply for?
But the town of Blythewood has an obligation here too, in my opinion. If the town wants to help save some of the historical buildings in town,
I
see
agree.
no reason why the town itself can't at least have a discussion on the situation with Mr. Matthews.
I,
Met with
I
Matthew.
agree, Jim. I agree. How that's facilitated, I'm not real
Well,
sure.
It could come directly from this body, and I'd make a motion here tonight to recommend that it go to the town seeking support. Because he is over a barrel somewhere. We are asking him to do a lot to bring that building up to a historical standard that is, I think, an additional burden on him. It's not just he take this existing building
Sure,
and
I don't
rehab it.
disagree.
But we've thrown a bunch of things at him tonight, which I think are appropriate, would be nice. But I understand him being somewhat frustrated that this is all of a sudden being thrown on him,
Agreed,
you know.
agreed. Yep.
And again, I think this body has the right and obligation to tell the town of Blythewood that this building is important enough to this body that they need to help seek funds to help him restore that building back as best they can to historical standards.
Yes, sir, I agree, Jim.
And I'll make that as a form of a motion tonight, as a matter of fact. Huh?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
It's not on the agenda as an action item. But,
I'll make it as a request then. How about, could it go through as a request? As a discussion item? Our motions aren't binding, so I don't know why it wouldn't come up.
so I think we should put a discussion item on the next meeting to discuss this very topic,
Which meeting?
the next BAR meeting.
Yeah,
We can have an official, no, I'm serious, we can have an official discussion topic
right.
on this item. You know, if any member here wants to reach out to a town council member and see if they will, well, I don't know, that's the best idea.
We have been
I'm kind of thinking out
we've been
loud, but
restrained in doing that because of the potential suit involving the demolition of the building. So we were asked not to talk with council on it. But I understand his frustration personally. I mean, he came here with a request to improve what I call the length of the roadside, and we threw the whole book at him in terms of what he needs to do.
I agree, and Paul and I have had a discussion about, you know, maybe can the Historical Society start some sort of foundation?
Right.
You know, that it's not even through the town, you know, it's through the Historical Society. I know the town helps the Historical Society out, but they're a separate entity from us.
We're 501, and he's not a 501, but the town still has the responsibility, I think, to look at historical designated buildings. Every other town
Sure.
does.
Yeah, I agree.
But did he not know this was a historical building when he started?
He
I think
did.
the certain truth of
He
that,
did.
I think, is,
I have a
He
little
did.
bit of empathy for him, but I don't have a lot.
Right.
I think it's to the extent of what we're throwing at him. Could he not come in here tonight and just ask for approval on the length of the roadside? And not do all the other things?
He could have, yeah, that's not what he came in asking for, but, yes.
Right.
But, I hear what you're saying, and I asked Paul, you know, I had a conversation with him a couple months ago, and this whole thing came up, you know, can we do something, you know, to establish some sort of grant or fund, or whether it's with the town or Historical Society, but I agree that we need to do something like that.
How many historical buildings remaining in this town?
12, 11 or 12, I think?
Huh? And they're dwindling too.
Yes,
That's right,
yes.
right.
Can he make modifications without getting our approval?
Not to the exterior.
That's like if he wanted to just change the windows out itself back to the radius arches.
So there is a provision in there if the job is less than $25,000, which, it may be something that needs to be updated because, quite frankly, you can't really do much anything for less than $25,000 right now as it pertains to building materials and work.
Right.
You know, and forgive me, I'm speaking out loud right now, but I wonder if we could even form, or if the town council could form some sort of committee, you know, to kind of lead this, you know, grant or setting aside funds for only historical buildings, I mean, again, I'm thinking out loud, but I don't know if that's a possibility or,
I was just curious because, I mean, chances are he's gonna wanna replace those windows, whether he goes through us or not.
Yeah, I had the same.
I mean, those windows are gonna be really
Yeah.
old, but
But this is not on the historic register, this building.
yes, it
it
is.
is.
Oh, well then,
Blythewood is, yes.
Yeah.
then he can't do all this stuff.
Mr. Mayor, you got any opinion on what Jim and I just kind of went back and forth on?
In terms of the funding,
Mhm.
well, I know initially, the town gave the Historical Society money to get started. And we also, at that juncture, had a grant writer that was specifically trying to find grants.
Right.
So I think what we need is a dedicated person on staff that actually goes out and look grants. Because back in the day, believe it or not, we didn't have this money they got now. So we were on a tight budget.
Right, for sure, yeah, okay.
It's in our ordinance, it's in the historical ordinance here that we are to help, we have the right to help seek funds for the restoration of buildings. What I said was that in our ordinance, there is a stipulation that we have the right to help seek more funds for the rehab of buildings.
But Jim, is he really doing historical preservation? No, he's not. I mean, I understand, I get the empathy for him, but what he's proposing is not what I understand to be historic preservation. I don't think he's doing it. Do you think he's doing it?
It's a whole lot better than what we got to deal with right now. And I don't know how you ever get a building, as we stated earlier, that has been tweaked and I guess had several different, building renovations on it, get it back to the original shape.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And I think
Love the damn building.
if we could do what we're talking about tonight, I think that's the best option we have to at least come back to some reasonable middle of the road. You're not going to ever bring that building back to what it was.
No.
The highway department has already made that decision.
You're not.
So the front's no longer the front. So what we're dealing with is a building that's been
Abused.
abused, that's right, with no guidance whatsoever.
I don't doubt that it was, the estimate for that work is a fair amount of money. But there's just something about the way he plays loose with
Yes.
the money and the dollars.
I don't have an answer for that either, but,
I don't,
Not to have an architect helping him do that?
Yeah,
I know it's money, but that's what it takes.
well, welcome to the AI world. That's,
Beautiful work in town. You know that old house down there, Grammar Pond Road, comes out on 21?
Yeah.
There's a little white house there that has,
By the car wash?
where Grammar, yeah, by the Smith Farm, when Grammar Pond Road.
use the microphone.
21.
You need to use the microphone.
Was it the Maples house, Jim? It was.
Yes.
And they took that little shaggy house. Right now, I think it's kind of left on its own. It had flowers blooming around the posts, like they came up. It was darling. It was a dollhouse. But he did that. He put my floor in.
By the way, I will point out, since we were here for it, they had a 6-hour town council retreat and came out of there as their number one priority was town beautification. Number one priority, not safety, not expansion, not annexing, beautification.
that's why I mentioned that, Robert, is,
Watch what they do, not what they say.
well, I think we're still in a public meeting. I think we should probably adjourn this. And again, I think we could have it on as a discussion item if we want to go a little bit further with it. And yes, Jim, you're absolutely right. Like, I do think we have an obligation to,
It's in the ordinance.
Right,
It's,
yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah,
not something
absolutely.
I'm dreaming up or
No, I
inventing.
know,
It's
no.
a black and white that we're supposed to assist folks that are rehabbing.
I'd like to
up there.
pursue the work at a fair price, and I don't know that we're gonna get a fair price. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
sure.
But I would like to pursue that work.
It's got to be a process though, Paul, that you use, and I don't know what that process is, but there has to be a process.
Well, again, we could adjourn and go into some conversation.
Yeah.
There is a way to do that. There is a way. I'd like to have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I would like to just put it on the